So if you currently have a job, or you are unemployed, or you've ever been on unemployment, then you need to watch this entire video, because what is about to happen is something that we've only seen once before, and it was actually very scary. I have some notes here I want to go over, but again, it comes down to employment. Right now, we have an unemployment rate of 4.3%. Experts say as long as we're under 5%, we should be okay. But here's the concern. We may not have enough unemployment benefits to go around. According to reports, they are saying that we need to put more money into unemployment to ensure that everybody can get unemployment insurance if they do go on unemployment. But I want to break all this down, because what we are seeing right now is the economy is starting to shift. As it shifts, more people will become unemployed. They will be looking towards those benefits and looking forward to receiving some type of income for the time being, but it could be delayed. So I'm gonna break all this down in just a moment. But as always, if you can, do me a favor, go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. But let's begin. So here's part of the issue. We're gonna get to the this unemployment insurance program crisis in just a second. But before I do that, I want to talk about these companies that are starting to lay off employees. We are seeing like Paramount is going to lay off like 15% of their employees. We are seeing John Deere lay off employees. Tech is laying off employees right and left. Okay. This is turning into a bigger and bigger issue. But the thing is, these layoffs are happening sporadically. And so a lot of people think, oh, it's just normal layoffs. We're perfectly fine. We are not going to see a mass layoff. The problem is these layoffs are happening so slowly, but there are big layoffs where companies are laying off thousands and thousands of people at a time. Keep in mind how many companies there are out there in the United States. There are small companies, there are big companies. What we see when you turn on the news and you see that Paramount's going to lay off employees, John Deere is laying off employees, Apple, Google, right? When you see that they're laying off employees, those are headline layoffs. But what you don't see is when Smith's Barbecue is going to shut down and lay off 6 people. You don't see when Albertsons is going to, cut their staff in certain locations, right? You don't see when, Dave's, soda fountain is gonna, close and there's gonna be 8 people that aren't gonna have a job. Okay, you don't see those. Those are the things that experts are concerned with, is that all these small businesses are gonna go under, and all those employees are gonna be collecting unemployment benefits. Now, let's get into this article. This is an article from CNBC. It says the unemployment insurance program is unprepared for a recession, according to experts. It says the U.S. employment rate has drifted upward over the past year, fueling recession concerns. The unemployment insurance program buckled during the COVID pandemic under a deluge of claims, and experts say the system for unemployment benefits is ill-equipped to handle the next economic downturn. Now, what do they mean by this? Here's the issue. During the pandemic, we jumped up to almost 15% unemployment. That is highly unlikely to happen again outside of another pandemic, okay? Could we see us get over, 10% because of a economic collapse? Yes, but outside of some type of health concern, I don't see us getting to 15%. At 15%, we saw about 6 million people collect unemployment benefits, okay? So that was actually pretty big. Now, here's where they're talking about the administration is ill-equipped. They say they're ill-equipped to pay benefits quickly and accurately. There's also wide variation among states which administer the programs relative to factors like benefit amount, duration, and eligibility. Now, I want to touch on this as well, okay? Because again, we saw before the pandemic, so what was it, March was it January, March, April of 2020, we saw about 6 million people collect unemployment. Before that, so I think we had like 200,000 people collect unemployment before that, the week before the pandemic really hit. But states weren't prepared. They weren't prepared to pay out benefits. They weren't prepared to even take on the applications. This is one of the reasons why the federal government had to come out and provide additional funding. They had to provide more, money. They had to provide more, just different technology, right? They had to fund everything, because if they didn't, the states weren't there. They couldn't do it. They couldn't handle the influx of people. Now, keep in mind the states had to also deal with the CARES Act, and there's other programs, enhanced unemployment benefits that paid out $600 per week, right? And huge difference. Now, they say these are the areas that we need to fix. Okay, it says experts who drafted the National Academy of Social Insurance report outlined many areas for policymakers to fix. Administration and technology were among them. Said states entered the pandemic at a 50-year low in funding, leading to cascading failures, according to the report. Says today's system is largely financed by a federal tax on employers, equivalent to $42 per year per employee. $42. That's not a lot of money. $42 per year per employee. There's 180 million people in the United States that work. So it was 180 times 42. You're looking at like $7.6 billion, something like that. My math could be off, but again, I think it's fairly close. So yeah, somewhere around there. But here's the thing. What they are saying in this report is that raising such funding could help states modernize outdated technology by optimizing mobile access for workers and allowing them to access portals 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They also go on to say that the average American received $447 a week in benefits in the first quarter of 2024. Here's the reason why this is an issue. That replaces about 36% of someone's previous income. 36%. So let's say you're making $1,000 a week and you get paid 36% of your benefits. That's $360 a week that you would get. There's $640 per week you're not getting. Times 4 weeks, yeah, you're going to struggle, okay? You're going to struggle when you lose out on $2,500 a month. Now, here's what they're saying. That we need states to use different formulas to determine factors like aid eligibility and weekly benefit payments. It says that there are some states that have a wide gap in what they get paid. For instance, the national average is $447. In Mississippi, recipients get on average $221 a week as of June 2024. But in Washington State and Massachusetts, we get about $720 a week, according to the Labor Department. Yeah, huge issues. Another one, and again, the uninsurance program. This isn't ready for a huge surge in claims. Last week we got under 200,000 on average. That's about what we get, 200,000 claims per week. But what they are saying right now is that if there's not some type of uninsurance or unemployment insurance reform, that if we do dip into a recession and millions of people lose their job, we could see many people have to wait multiple weeks. Right now with unemployment insurance, there's a waiting week. Okay, you have to wait a week and then you'll receive a payment. You'll receive your benefits. Here's the issue. Some people will have to wait 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks to receive payment. Depends on the state that they live in. Depends on how sound the unemployment program is for that state. That's an issue. And I just wanted to share this with you because I was reading this. It came out just yesterday. And I was reading this and I thought that was interesting because a lot of people think that once they go on unemployment, it's guaranteed they're getting the money. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are coming your way. But as far as a guarantee, there's no guarantee you're going to get a fast payment. There's also no guarantee as to whether or not you receive payments. Because if they are, you go through the process and now they're waiting on somebody to approve you, right? You get a manual approval. It could take several weeks, okay? So just keep that in mind that right now there's a huge concern that as we get closer to the end of 2024, we are going to see more signs of trouble as we dip into the first quarter of 2025. This is when the commercial real estate mortgage crisis is going to hit us. When that happens, banks are going to collapse. The financial system could potentially collapse. We're going to see businesses go under. People will be laid off. And again, you will be relying on unemployment insurance. But if it's not there, we don't have the funding. What happens then? So I will leave you with that. But again, thank you guys for watching. Do me a favor, if you did enjoy today's video or if you learned something, make sure you go ahead, hit that like button, and I will see you guys on the next one.